Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, the men and women of the 59th Medical Support Group observe the change of command ceremony for Colonel Terence T. Cunningham IV will relinquish command to Colonel John J. Modra Jr. The presiding official for today's ceremony is Brigadier General Jeannine Ryder. At this time, I would like to introduce some special guests with us today. Please hold applause until all members have been introduced. Colonel Cunningham's wife, Miss Jennifer Cunningham. Their kids, Terrence and Christian. Wife of Colonel Modra, Miss Tracy Modra. Their kids, Lakin and Harley. Colonel Modra's parents, Mr. John and Mrs. Pat Modra. And father-in-law, Mr. Kenneth Hill, and grandfather-in-law, Mr. Jerry Lewis. Also with us today are Colonel Kristen Beals, Deputy Commander, 59th Medical. Chief Master Sergeant Jennifer Gaines, Interim 59th Medical Command Chief. Colonel Sharon Galuso, Air Education and Training Command's Chief Nurse. Chief Master Sergeant Thomas Ward, Air Education and Training Command's 4NO Functional Manager. Colonel John DeLomba, Deputy Commander, 59th Medical Support Group. Chief Master Sergeant Christy Rudquist, Senior Enlisted Leader, 59th Medical Support Group. And her husband, Chief Master Sergeant Retired Jeff Johnson. Although time does not permit us to welcome all of our distinguished guests, we extend the warmest welcome to all group and squadron commanders, chiefs, special friends, and the men and women of the 59th Medical Wing. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remain standing for the arrival of the official party, the playing of ruffles and flourishes, the advancement of colors, and the singing of the national anthem by Staff Sergeant Jamina Traylor and the invocation given by Chaplain Gary Davidson.
Colors. Attention. Hut. Port. Heart. Forward. Heart. Colors. Ball. Present. Hearts.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars
Please join me in prayer. Gracious God, for nearly 2 years, Colonel Terence Cunningham has commanded the 59th Medical Support Group. Under Colonel Cunningham's remarkable leadership, the group has achieved extraordinary results while faced with unprecedented challenges. Despite these hurdles, Colonel Cunningham piloted the group to remarkable success in a number of areas, including COVID-related issues such as testing, lab work, blood donations, vaccinations, medication distribution, assisting civilian hospitals, and partnering with FEMA. As if this wasn't enough, Colonel Cunningham oversaw a large number of deployments of his personnel within the United States or to other countries so as to provide critical medical support. And of course, Lord, Colonel Cunningham was a leader in the rollout of MHS Genesis, which directly impacts patient safety and health. These are just a few of Colonel Cunningham's numerous accomplishments, and they align with his priorities of readiness, creating a learning environment, and caring for people. Plus, it reaffirms his belief that his group of airmen and civilians are the first one in and the last ones out, and they're always there to support. Colonel Cunningham, you and your group rightfully deserve the many awards and accolades that you have received during your outstanding tenure with the 59th Medical Support Group. I pray that God continues to bless you and your beloved family with protection, love, and joy in the years ahead. Together, may you make the most of the promising opportunities that lie ahead, and may you continue to improve and inspire the lives of others, just as you have done throughout your magnificent Air Force career. The departure of Colonel Cunningham leaves a large hole that can only be filled by another outstanding leader with a sharp mind, extensive knowledge, sound judgment, and a big heart. Fortunately, Colonel John Modra has all of these qualities and more. Colonel Modra's medical background is diverse, his leadership experience is extensive, his deployment history is varied, and his concern for the well-being of others is very impressive. Many of Colonel Modra's values were instilled in him by his parents: to work hard, respect everyone, be humble and compassionate, and learn something new every day so as to make tomorrow better. Combined with his own personal philosophies of tackling the day and committing oneself to fulfilling the mission, it's clear that Colonel Modra has a drive, desire, passion, intelligence, and commitment to succeed. Colonel Modra, the 59th Medical Support Group, is fortunate to have someone of your caliber become their new commander. Colonel Modra, I pray that God gives you the wisdom and strength to lead your group to new heights of success and achievement. May your outstanding work not only bring great honor upon yourself and your beloved family, but may it cause your group to shine brightly as a world-class medical support group that we know that it is. Lord, I pray these things in your holy name. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Thank you, Staff Sergeant Traylor and Chaplain Davidson. It is now my pleasure to introduce the 59th Medical Wing Commander, Brigadier General Jeannine Ryder.
Good morning. Good morning. We can do better. I at least had one cup of coffee today. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, so much better. You're like, man, I don't want to play funny games this morning. It's Friday. So, good morning. I want to thank everyone who's in attendance for this important ceremony. This is to celebrate the successes of the Medical Support Group, to acknowledge the leadership and expertise of Colonel Tom Cunningham. Today is really a milestone for Tom. This is his last official ceremony after 27 years in the Air Force. And so there will be an informal ceremony retirement on California Beach, probably with some beverages and things like that, and probably not in this getup. But we do need to celebrate 27 years. And then also we are welcoming the Modra family. Not exactly welcoming them to San Antonio with the 59th Medical Wing, however, celebrating them and welcoming them to the 59th Medical Support Group. We have Tracy, their daughters Lakin and Harley. It's a great day for the 59th Medical Wing, and it's a great day for the 59th Medical Support Group. And so I would be remiss if I did not thank those who organized this ceremony. I realize that this is a lot, it's like herding cats sometimes, especially when you are trying to herd my schedule. And there's a lot of moving parts, and it takes a lot of effort, time, and meticulous detail from the MC, the national anthem, the invocation, protocol, the proffer. You made this time special for the Cunninghams, the Modras, and for the group. And so I appreciate all your efforts. And the most important guest today, and I believe that Colonel Cunningham and Colonel Modra would agree, is the members of the 59th Medical Support Group. MDSG, as we like to call it. It has been 2+ years of challenges, opportunities, successes, a few setbacks here and there in an extremely complex environment. We often state that the 59th Medical Wing is an integrated healthcare system, which entails collaboration, coordination, synchronization, probably a few fights and stirs and churns and all those kind of things, with 6 groups that have distinct mission sets. The MDSG is the foundation of this integration. Many say without support you don't have ops, and that is a true fact within the 59th Medical Wing. The fact is when you think of resource management, our funds, IM and IT, our computers, patient admin, facilities, 66 to be exact, logistics, equipment repair, civilian personnel, contracting, these services and capabilities ensure that 250,000 beneficiaries get their care, that 2.9 thousand medics are ready for full spectrum operations. But then we also have lab and diagnostic that do 7,000 tests per day, or pharmacy who prescribes and fills 4,000 per day, or the Airmen Medical Transition Unit who takes care of over 300 airmen who have complex behavioral and medical issues and are taken away from their home station, and we are taking care of them. We are making sure that they are case managed. And then to our blood bank, which the goal is 150 units per week. And so when you talk about the 59th MDSG, that is just normal ops. That's 600 plus personnel who have to take care of all those ops across Joint Base San Antonio. And then they also need to support BMT processing, which is 600 to 800 per week, the special warfare training, the headquarters for AETC, recruiting services, the 19th Air Force, the 502nd Air Base Wing, tech training for Phase 2 for our medics, and the list goes on. And what they've made sure is that those are normal ops and that we are ready for any contingency ops as we remain the AFMS's 911. So, however, we talked about normal ops, but it has not been normal ops since March of 2020. So when you talk about pandemic, you talk about testing, you talk about meeting the requirements on how do we store these vaccinations. Talk about providing, distributing home kits, deploying teams from California to Maine to help the civilian healthcare systems that needed our help so direly. Deploying 100 plus individuals in less than 72 hours to New Mexico for Operation Allied Welcome and supporting 7,000 Afghans. We had the UEI, the Joint Commission, the new electronic medical record. The UEI, you're like, oh, that happened. Where they got highly effective. And the list goes on. The MDSG has been in surge since March of 2020. And they have done and rocked it every single day. And so though they would not agree, this group has been outstanding, and they would not agree with that is because of them. But Colonel Cunningham, Chief Relinquishes, the squadron commanders, the flight commanders, the SELs, the first sergeants, it was all hands on deck, and the leadership team got the results, and they motivated and they encouraged some of the most trying times. And so I'm going to concentrate a little bit on Colonel Cunningham, and he loves to talk about himself, which we all know is not true at all. However, and we talked about it, I cannot exactly pinpoint the time and the place that I met Tom, but we figured it was at the Pentagon around around 2012 or 2013. It was my 1 year in the Pentagon, and then we realized that I was underqualified and I needed to go somewhere else. But what I can say is that I have valued his sarcasm, humor some might call, his common sense approach, his candor or constructive feedback, any way you want to look at it, and his depth of knowledge. I am always a little smarter when I meet my friend Tom, every single time. And so Tom has 27 years of service, 12 assignments, and when you talk about 12 assignments, there's multiple jobs within those assignments. And so he has traversed everything from facilities, Air Force-wide, and how we were going to organize, renovate, and make our newest MTFs, to AFID at Ohio State, to Flight Commander, to budget analysis for the Undersecretary of Defense, to the SG's exec, to Command ×3 and Administrator. No matter what Tom was assigned, he made impact, from Andrews Malcolm Grove renovation to Wounded Warrior legislation and making sure that they got the benefits they deserved. Relationship building in Las Vegas that now makes one of our premier readiness platforms for the Air Force Medical Service. And the list goes on, and there are many more. But Tom will always tell you it's about the people. It's about the people who do extraordinary things, not only in COVID, but every single day. And so Tom, the Air Force is not a job, it is a way of life. His dad is the individual who commissioned him. Actually did his major promotion on the beach, and so this is only full circle that we're going to do the retirement on the beach. Tom graduated from Fairborn High School right outside of Wright-Patterson. And so Tom lives the foundations that his parents put into him, the Air Force core values and service to his nation and community. And so with all these accolades, what Tom would say is that his best accomplishment is his family. And so Jennifer, they met at college at Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. He will tell you that Jennifer's smarter and more talented than he talks the most, and that still stays to this day. And they had 3 wonderfully talented children. Caitlin, who happens to, she's got a hardship tour right now. She is at UK, London, working abroad. She is a neuroscience major at Notre Dame. I don't know if they guessed her on the Boston College grad, but Notre Dame is pretty good. It's okay. She was valedictorian at Dakota in 2020. And then we have Terrence, who's going to be a freshman at Ohio State. And so after meeting Terrence for 3 minutes, I know exactly who is Tom's son. They have a lot of the same emotions and all those kind of things. He will be data analytics, and he was the valedictorian at Lackland just a couple weeks ago. And then we have Christian, who just happened to run a half marathon yesterday morning at 9:30 for fun, 1 hour and 43 minutes. And I said, so you're going to run cross country at your new high school in Ohio? And he's like, no, I'm going to play soccer. And so he is very interested in global affairs, economics, and politics. And so I will say that Christian has the same smile as his mom. And so, from what I understand, Caitlin is your sister. So that is always good. And so for the kids in the family, you've done COVID, you've done overseas tours, the military life is inconvenient with moves, making new friends, new schools, all those kind of things. And so I want to thank you for your love, your support, your patience, your resilience. And what you did most was keep your dad centered and knowing what his most important job is, family. And so I am looking forward to, they're going to move to outside of Columbus, Ohio. And I'm glad that you get to do things on your time, get to move on your time, and get to be around family. And be parents, they are just going to be right there where you go to college. Like, my daughters will be like, oh, no. And so, thank you. Thank you for all these years. So Tom, I know it's a little more detailed than we talked. We talked 27 years. Usually we put it into the 2 years. But I would be out of line if I didn't express my appreciation for your 27 years of leadership, expertise, your commitment, and again, your humor, your sarcasm. If I want to know how to read a room, I look at Tom, and I see how this is going. And then I look at Alan, and then I look at Alicia. And then I probably notice that they're texting, the 3 of them. Boy, would I like to get some of those text strings. And I'm sure that Lauren is in there somewhere too. And so, but the most our airmen, our patients, our mission. You should be very proud. You should self-reflect. And I just want to thank you for your friendship and all that you've done. So we're going to change gears. We're going to welcome Colonel Modra to a new position, but not to a new place. He is coming here as the chief nurse, the wing's chief nurse. He was just out a year ago as a deployed group commander. And so we are fortunate to have him today with Tracy, with Harley, with Lackland. Lackland is a nurse. I appreciate that. She's a nurse and she works at Methodist Transplant. She is a retired softball player from what she told me. And then Harley is going to UT San Marcos for nursing. Again, I appreciate that. She's loving all the courses. And I said, it is really hard and I am with you. I am really with you. And so from what I understand, Harley is the creative genius, dancing, painting, drawing, all the talents that I have nothing. And so I just want to thank you for belonging to our team. I'm glad that we get to keep you in San Antonio and keep you settled. Being a Tier 1 group commander, it's a big opportunity, and it is an honor to your father's sustained and your husband's sustained excellence. But I will tell you that your dad's best job title and John's best title is father and husband's. And we are very fortunate we have his mom and dad here, and his friends, and his grandparent-in-laws. I mean, that's pretty impressive when you get the grandparent-in-laws to come. And so we've got Ohio and West Virginia. We've had a little talk about that. And then one of his good friends, unfortunately, had a medical emergency, and so we're just praying for John as he goes over to Banzi. But John comes with a wealth of leadership expertise, 2-time squadron commander, like I said, deployed group commander, Air War College grad, chief nurse ×2. His clinical expertise is in emergency medicine and critical care. John understands what team means, what ready force means, what ready medics means, and what safe volunteer means. And so, John, you are surrounded by great airmen and civilians. They know how to adapt, and innovate in a complex environment. You are ready for this opportunity. I know you will command, lead, and partner, and the MDSG is in great hands and will continue to succeed. So best of luck and welcome to the new seats. And now we are going around. We are going to That's it.
Thank you, General Ryder. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as General Ryder presents the Legion of Merit to Colonel Cunningham.
Publish the order.
Attention to orders. Colonel Terence T. Cunningham IV distinguished himself by exceptionally meritorious conduct in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Commander, 59th Medical Support Group, 59th Medical Wing, Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland, Texas, from 7 August 2020 to 31 August 2022. During this period, Colonel Cunningham's outstanding leadership, strategic focus, and selfless efforts were integral to sustaining fully mission-capable combat medics and a high-reliability organization with a patient-centered culture. His inspirational leadership and vision enabled his staff of 661 to execute a $269 million operations and maintenance budget and maintain equipment worth $138 million in support of 66 buildings totaling 3 million square feet and appraised at $914 million. While responsible for readiness operations at the Air Force Medical Services' largest deployment platform, Colonel Cunningham deployed over 700 members in support of ongoing operations, executing 47% of all Air Education and Training Command taskings, to include the COVID-19 vaccine team and medical response teams to 6 states. In addition, his technical support of the Department of Defense's largest blood donor center has been stellar, collecting 20,000 blood units annually and administering products valued at $7 million to 90 overseas contingency operation contracts. In response to the COVID-19 pandemic, Colonel Cunningham immediately focused on continued care to 255,000 beneficiaries while safeguarding his staff, swiftly instituting an innovative drive-through COVID-19 testing process and mass vaccination site. These initiatives safely conducted 41,000 in-vehicle tests and administered 71,000 COVID-19 vaccines, earning Colonel Cunningham and his team direct praise from the Director of the Defense Health Agency. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Colonel Cunningham culminate a distinguished career in the service of his country and reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It is now my pleasure to introduce the commander of the 59th Medical Support Group, Col Terence Cunningham.
Thank you. I'm going to keep this short, and I'm going to read uncharacteristically, but it's important that I get through this in one piece. And so, first of all, thank you, Jeannine Ryder, for those words, for our friendship past 10 years, it sounds like. On paper, a joint base, DHA market, serving 4 million beneficiaries during a global pandemic and also instituting a new electronic health record, that should have worked, but it did. So thank you for your stellar leadership getting us through some enormous challenges. Thank you to my most trusted advisors, Chief Relinquishes. Thanks for telling me when we strayed from the mission. And Colonel Wisniewski, if you guys see him there, there he is. Colonel Wisniewski for covering my blind spots, even when you were deployed downrange. Thanks for that. And before Chief and Colonel Wisniewski, Chief Becky McNulty and Colonel Lynch-Berry, again, were trusted advisors for a reason, and they guided me every single day. Thank you, Squadron Armo leadership. The challenges are big at Wilford Hall, but the challenge is bigger. I really look forward to watching each of you become group commanders and group SCLs. Air Force is in very good hands. Thank you to the men and women of the 59th Medical Support Group. At a time in our history where support was pushed to the front, you excelled, whether it be getting supplies and vaccines to combat COVID, deploying personnel at home or abroad, or coming up with new ways to do critical tasks such as blood draws, pharmacy ops, telemedicine, and remote work. Words can't describe my gratitude. Now a few personal thank yous. Thanks to my mom, dad, and sister for showing me how to raise a loving military family. And thank you to Jennifer's family for your love and support during the military adventure. Thank you to my children for enduring a life of disruption. I think we said that the military life would make you stronger. I hope that you agree. For your sacrifices, I'd like to provide a small token of gratitude. As was mentioned before, my daughter can't be here, so her gift is 6 weeks in London, all expenses paid. You're welcome. For my boys, something a little more modest, and so let me hand this out to you real quick. All right, so my wife Jennifer, and you're not supposed to look at the love of your life because you'll start crying. So it took 27 years when I finally got the Air Force out of my system. We head back to Ohio to be closer to family. Thank you for your patience, making me a better person every single day. I know, I do this now. Thank you to those that helped put this on today, in particular Captain Walters, the voice of NDSG, Staff Sergeant Trailer for singing, Chaplain Davidson, as always, for providing us really much in prayer. Senior Master Sergeant Murphy and Senior Master Sergeant Caracosa, they are about to have a sigh of relief. They led the team, huge team of folks who helped put this on. So incredibly important. Ceremonies are incredibly important. I've missed the ceremonies, so thank you for a fantastic experience. And then finally, thank you for all of you for being here today. The chairs are full, which is a great sign. Either it's great that I'm leaving or it's great that John's coming in. But anyway, the chairs are full, so thank you. And again, thanks to leaders, team members, and members of 59th Medical Support Group. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Cunningham. Please stand for the change of command. Attention to orders. Under the provisions of AFI 51-604 and Special Order Number G22-036, Colonel Terence Cunningham relinquishes command of the 59th Medical Support Group. Colonel John Modra assumes command, effective 24 June 2022, signed 18 June 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of the 59th Medical Support Group, Colonel John J. Modra Jr.
Thank you. I have a page and a half to cover if I can read love writing. Give me 1 minute, if you would, to present this small gift to some of the incredible women. Stole that move from Tom. General Ryder, Colonel Beals, Chief Gaines, Colonel Galuzzo, Chief Ward, Chief relinquishes, commanders, fellow commanders, chiefs, family, friends, men and women of the 59th Medical Support Group. Thank you for being here today to celebrate with us. General Ryder, thank you for the kind words. Turned around at least once to see if there was so much better than us. We're talking about that. Also, thank you for trust and confidence and giving me an opportunity to serve in the 59th in a different level. Thank you for making the time. Chaplain, thank you for the good words, as always. Staff Sergeant Trainer, consummate, honor guard, spot on as usual. Senior Master Sergeant Murphy and Caracosa, thank you and your entire team for making today special for everyone. I know there's a lot of hard work that goes behind this, and it doesn't happen overnight. Also, thank you to Captain Walters. Colonel Cunningham, thank you and Jennifer and your entire family for your sacrifice and service over the years making all of this happen. Also, thank you for a warm handoff to me. I promise to pick up the football and continue to move downfield with this accomplished team. From our family to yours, we wish you the very best on your next adventure. Also, I'm certain that next week we'll remember all the stuff that you passed you last week. To the men and women of the 59th Medical Support Group, I want you to know I have a great appreciation for what you do and what you bring to the fight on a daily basis. In the last few years, General Ryder, you mentioned it, facing a global pandemic, you kept the 59th Medical Wing and America's 911 in a mission continued status despite all odds. That's a huge deal. I look forward to working for and serving with you. Together we'll tackle the day. There's a bunch of folks in the crowd that I need to thank today. I'm going to try to rattle off this list fairly quick. I know I'll probably forget someone, so please forgive me. There's a few of my former commanders in the crowd today. Rob Martin, his wife Stacy, back there. Hello. I promise to not go to his hands today. Thank you for your leadership and mentorship, sir. Colonel John Modra is in the front row. Thank you, ma'am, for your leadership and mentorship. I'm glad I was on your side every morning when we were talking military construction. I'll say that. So, much appreciated. Also, over the past years, the SGN, a lot of people helped me with Stephen Mendoza, Chief Caldwell, the entire Division of Education and Training, all of the SGNs and groups, and our career functionals, in addition to Mr. Brown and our patient advocate teams. So thank you. In the first row to my left over here are a whole bunch of folks who had influence on my life for a long time. I'll forward a sheet and give you around that, so I'm going to roast if you keep talking. John left this morning, had a little bit of an emergency. John and Pat Hunter have been in our lives since before I put this uniform great mentors and examples to our family. So thank you for thinking about him right now. And things will turn out well. Thank you to John. You've been great to our family. Pap, Jerry Lewis is in the crowd today. He's not back there in the second row. But Pap, thanks for everything. Thanks for always being in my corner. He's my biggest fan and cheerleader. He helps me win the fights with Tracy sometimes. We're glad you're here, Pap. Also, even though Pap is an extremely young man, believe it or not, he got on his first airplane ride to meet with us today. So, awesome. Glad to have you. Mr. Buddy Hill is in the front row over there. Buddy's I won't say a priority. Once a Marine, always a Marine. Buddy served in the Marine Corps. We're not going to hold that against you today, but you're still going to be my #1 father-in-law because you've been on the plane and brought Pap here. So rumor has it Pap likes to have a lot of stuff in his pockets and get screwed. Wish I was a fly on the wall for that. But thank you for your love and support all this time. In addition, our mom and dad. So, mom and dad, thank you for raising me with a set of core values that we're not far off from that these core values. It was not a hard transition for me to jump into this way of life. Mom, you always have an encouraging word. Dad, your service in the Navy and fond memories of that discussion are probably part of the reason why I had a desire to serve. So basically, it's all your fault. In addition, the next room back is a hostile family. We're no strangers to service. County, right? I think there's an Airmen, Marine, future Marine Corps aviator, and an Army recruitment basic training right now. So, thank you, hospital family, for all those people there. I know we go back many assignments. Appreciate you being in our lives. Now for the hard part, to the girls. So Harley, you laid down a challenge. I want you to listen to this. You're amazing. You amaze us every day. We are sure proud of you. Thank you for embracing the suck when you had to. And thank you for wearing your military grad badge with honor each and every day. Lincoln's an OR nurse. Harley studying nursing, hopes to be a flight nurse someday. We're incredibly proud and happy to have them all here together. And finally, to my beautiful bride, Tracy Lee, I'm in love with you. Thank you for making me better in every way. Although I may refer to you as the War Department at times, and I fondly call you my crew smasher. The truth is, you are my life coach. And despite your 27 years of effort, I am still in desperate need of continuous process. Without your love, support, sacrifice, I simply cannot do what I do. Make it
Thank you, Colonel Modra. Ladies and gentlemen, the men and women of the 59th Medical Support Group are proud to have served with Colonel Cunningham and wish him and the Cunningham family good luck and Godspeed in their new chapter in life. We also welcome the Modra family as Colonel Modra assumes his new duties as commander of the 59th Medical Support Group. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and join us in the singing of the Air Force song and remain standing for the departure of the official flag. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. On On behalf of General Ryder and Colonel Modra, thank you for attending. Thank you and have a great day.